Welcome back to the channel in part 4 of the CR250 build series. In parts 1 through 3, we saw us tear this thing completely down to the frame, start getting it cleaned up. We got the entire motor built, and we are almost ready to start getting this bike back together. And in this video, we're gonna be completing the entire project, so make sure you guys wait until the end of the video to see that final product. It's gonna look incredible. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And don't forget, we are giving this bike away to one of you guys. Follow the link in my description, get some entries. They won't be available for long, and you do not wanna miss out on your chance to win this bike. We've got the frame and subframe here all ready to get sent out and get sandblasted and powder coated. Now it kills me to powder coat a bare aluminum frame like this, but I promise once you guys see the whole vision and the whole build come together, you're gonna really understand why I'm making the decision to get this powder coated. I promise it's gonna look great. So these are the radiators that were on the bike when I bought it. I wanted to get rid of these and find myself a set of OEM radiators. So I went over to eBay, picked these up off a 2002 CR250. Overall, they look to be in good shape. Hopefully no cracks in them. So we're gonna get them cleaned up, test them out, and get this one all straightened up. For radiators from 2002, I am pretty happy with how these things straightened up and how the fins cleaned up. This one is looking way better. That was that twisted up one. So we're gonna go ahead and run a quick leak test to make sure these things aren't gonna leak on us when we go to put them on the bike. Just got done checking and they do not leak, which is fantastic news. We're gonna be using the blackout and the titanium. This is part of their Elite series. So these are supposed to be just a little bit stronger than their typical Cerakote. I've never done Cerakote before, so this will be an adventure for me. We're gonna send this stuff over to my buddy Garrett. He's gonna sandblast them because I don't have a sandblaster. But once we get it back, I will be doing everything in-house myself. So let's get started. Everything for this shock turned out incredible. The Prime MX pads really helped clean a lot of this stuff up. We got the Cerakote on the shock body, a couple of these other pieces. Got these rings re-zinc plated. So what we're actually gonna be doing is sending all this stuff to Ride JBI Suspension. They're gonna go through the whole thing, get it revalved and set up for what the riding we're gonna be doing with this bike and get ready to get shipped out. So here's that swing arm we got off eBay. I got this thing for like $100 shipped to my door and I was pretty pumped. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Now this is actually for a 2008 CRF250, but I did a bunch of research and these will mount right up on the CR2 strokes. You just need a little bit different of a linkage bolt. I already ordered that, so we are good to go. But aside from, get some of these stickers off, and if you look, there's the OEM drive chain sticker still on here. A couple other things, so we just gotta get those off, do a little bit of buffing, clean it up, replace the bearings, and this thing is gonna be looking amazing. Let's get moving. All right, to be honest with you, we're actually not going to be replacing these bearings. The second I started popping the seals off and looking in here, this grease is super clean. These seem to be in really good shape. They look like they're actually the OEM bearings. So some of the other parts like this is a little bit rusty, the spacer in here, so we'll go ahead and replace that. But all these needle bearings, the seals, everything is good. So we're not gonna go ahead and replace these. So we're gonna get these cleaned up, throw some grease in here, and then we can move on to some of the other parts of the swing arm. So let's go ahead and start getting some of these stickers off. It is time for one of the most exciting parts of the build, the graphics kit, and they have arrived from SKDA. They knocked it out of the park with this kit, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And we're gonna be pairing this up with the TX Race Kit. This will update the plastics to a 2023 CRF450. So out with the 2003, in with the 2023. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about this bike giveaway that we're doing on the CR250. So if you follow that link down in my description over to my website, mxbuilds.com, you can actually purchase entries to get entered to win this bike. What this does, it gives me the opportunity to kind of recoup some of the funds and the money that we've put into this project. As you guys know, building these bikes can be very expensive, especially the CR250. So any entries and purchases that you guys make over there would greatly help me out. I'd really appreciate it. And again, it would give you guys an opportunity to win this bike for a fraction of the cost. It's really a win-win, and I'm super excited. We're gonna be doing a live YouTube drawing on this, where I'm gonna be calling one of you guys, telling you that you just want a brand new bike, and then we're gonna be delivering that bike directly to you guys. So if you guys wanna get entered, help me out, and get an opportunity to win this thing, use that link down in my description, head over there, purchase some entries. I'm super excited, and hey, you never know, somebody has to win, so why not you? One of the most important parts of this build was picking out the colors of everything, all the different components, to make sure it kind of flowed and went together, especially the reds, making sure they all match as close as we could across the board. So that's why I've got this massive swatch of all these different red powder coat samples. I've got all the different, Cerakote samples on here. So this was a lot of work to try to pick the right color. This is the seat that the TX Race Kit comes with. This is their own kind of custom seat here. They've got some spacers in here to sit on the subframe, and they utilize a back kind of bolt system here to hold it down. Then they got their own seat cover here. Now they did say that any kind of modern 2023 CRF450 seat cover will fit this seat. So that's what we went ahead and did, was we got a blue seat cover to go with the theme. Now I am never one to just put a new seat cover over an old seat cover without removing it, but this red one obviously is brand new. It's pretty thin. All these staples really aren't in the way. I can just staple kind of in front of it. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw this blue seat cover over the red seat cover. That way down the road, if somebody doesn't want the blue seat cover, they've still got the nice red one underneath. There it is, we got it all wrapped up, and this cover looks amazing. Throttle Jockey actually had some extra 1986 shade of blue for the seat material. They were able to use that for this, so a huge shout out to those guys. Thank you so much. I really think it's gonna pull the whole look of the build together with that just iconic 80s Honda blue seat. The scariest part of this build was powder coating the raw aluminum frame, but man, look how good this thing turned out. I'm super happy. This is the Passion Red from Prismatic. It's a bright gloss red with a little bit of an orange hint to it, and I think it's really gonna match that 86 Honda red. And the subframe looks just as good. Now I've already gone through the whole frame, rechased all the threads. I ground down where my ignition coil is gonna go. So really this thing is ready for the next stage. We're gonna throw some foot pegs on here, throw the skid plate on here, get it on the stand, and start getting to work. There are very few things that look better than a raw, freshly cleaned swing arm. This thing turned out incredible. We're gonna go ahead and finish it off with a Polysport chain slider, and Spec Bolt hooked us up with some new hardware. We got all the hardware back from getting zinc plated, and I am so happy with how this stuff turned out. This was my first time ever using Cerakote on these brake parts, and overall I'm super happy with how they turned out. We got new sight glasses in the master cylinders here. Now, I not only wanted these brakes to look good, I wanted them to perform just as well, so we went ahead with the upgraded master cylinder. This is from a 2009 CRF250. We should get some extra braking power here. I've also upgraded the front rotor to a 260 millimeter. Should get some extra braking power there. We're using OEM pads. We're using brand new Cormoto steel braided brake lines. Fingers crossed, we're gonna have these brakes in tip-top shape when we're done with them. We went ahead and removed all the casting lines on these aluminum pieces, and then we finished them off with a vapor blasting process, and they look incredible. The finish on here is near perfect. I mean, these look better than brand new, and they are really gonna pop once we get them on the bike. This is Lectron's new Bilotron 38 carburetor, and this thing is wicked. I cannot wait to get it paired up with that CR250 motor. If you guys aren't familiar, Lectrons are basically jetless carburetors, so no more jetting, no more bogs. This thing is gonna be awesome. We just got the suspension back from JBI, so they went on the uppers, these inner chambers, rebuilt everything in here, revalved everything for us, and then with the rear shock, they went ahead, revalved, and rebuilt the rear shock as well. But a huge shout out and thank you to JB over there at JBI. I talked to him about what we were doing with this project, and he wanted to jump on board. He was super excited, very, very knowledgeable when it came to suspension and what settings and what we wanted to do here on the CR250s. The package I've been most excited for on this entire build has finally arrived. There are no words to describe what is in this box. So I knew I wanted to do something special with these forks, and we got them Kashima coated. So Kashima coating is a special type of anodizing that they actually only do over in Japan. So I found a company over in Japan, corresponded with them. They're actually super easy to work with. The company is called Technics, as you can see here on the box. So they shipped to Japan, got the Kashima coating, and were delivered and shipped back on my door in less than 2 weeks. I was blown away. For $425, we've got ourselves some cool looking fork tubes. Here's the Airbox. We got it all wrapped up. Got the MX Bones reseal kit in here. I wet sanded some of these sides, got rid of those deep scratches. I think it's looking pretty dang good. Now the last and final thing we got to use is this Cerakote ceramic trim coating. I've never used this stuff, but I've seen a lot of good stuff come from this. So we're gonna give it a shot. Basically, you wipe this stuff on. It really brings out the black and kind of gives it that better than OEM look. So let's give it a shot.